You're listening to the Birds on Power Lines podcast, and this is a podcast in which we talk about things that excite us.
Yes.
Yeah, fandoms and things like that. If you haven't heard us before, if you have heard us before, thank you for listening again. And typically we air a podcast every second Tuesday of the month. With maybe some little shorts in between of other past podcasts. That's what we're doing right now. And in this particular podcast, we are going to talk about a few different things.
Yes.
I guess
Less of a structured, more of a...
less of a structure. Yeah, because usually what we do is that we kind of review things or talk about our feelings about every episode of a series or whatever. And this one, we're going to just do something a little bit different. And I guess the main topic is going to be 21 Pilots.
Yes, what a surprise.
Yes, we've done a few podcasts on 21 Pilots, different things like Breach Tour and Clancy World Tour.
Yeah, we did do that, yeah.
So here we are back to that. And we have our Neds behind us.
Yes.
Thank you to the artist that made our Neds. I will put a link to that particular Etsy shop if you like these little Neds that we have. Yes?
Very cute. And soft.
Yes. Very squishy. So our topic, again, 21 Pilots, but specifically 21 Pilots in everyday life. And then we'll get into other ideas. We want to talk a little bit about our anticipation for Project Hail Mary and Grogu and the Mandalorian, or Mandalorian and Grogu.
Mandalorian and Grogu, yeah.
Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It's the movie title.
Yeah. Like, we know what we're talking about. And then as well, we just saw Zootopia 2.
Though it's been a while since that came out. But
it's been a while, but we just saw it at a local theater, and we thought, well, take advantage. Why not?
Yeah.
Because I was a little hesitant, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
All right, so main topic, 21 Pilots in everyday life. And I think one of the reasons I wanted to get onto this, because and you'll hear in like past podcasts that I'm a relatively new fan to 21 Pilots, whereas this one is not. How many years are we at now?
Trench was 2018-ish, 2018, 2019, so around then. So it's been 8 or 9 years or so.
Yeah, let's just round it up to 10.
7, 8. No, I'm not.
10-ish.
That seems disingenuous. I'm not going to do that. No.
So around that. So since the Trench era.
Yes.
Since the Trench era, and I'm more like since the Clancy era. Not just because I'm just not aware. But I'm having a blast, and something that I've noticed is that as I listen more and more to their music, I hear their song titles everywhere, even though like in everyday life, and then I catch myself saying things like, what did I say the other day?
I don't remember.
The days are long and the years are short. And someone looked at me and said, "Oh, that's really great." I said, 21 Pilots.
Yeah. I know where you got it from. I know where you got it from. You got it from Overcompensate.
Yeah. So these things keep happening, and then the issue is that this one has 2 years in a row managed to incorporate 21 Pilots.
Moving on from like doing it like little sneaky little words in my high school essays. I've now moved on to writing entire papers.
College art papers on 21 Pilots, and we mentioned
and getting very good grades on them actually.
So we met. Well, you don't have the latest
not the latest one, but the last.
But the last one. So last year you told me you were writing about 21 Pilots.
So I had to
for one of your ethnomusicology courses.
Yeah.
And the topic was just the concert.
Yeah, you had to go to a live concert experience, and I was like, "Well, hey, I'm going to Clancy anyway, so why not?"
So you wrote about Clancy.
So I wrote about that. Yep.
And
wrote about that.
Worked it got a good grade. And this year, though, I think it's a little bit more of a topic.
Yeah.
So it's multivocality.
Yes.
So we wanted to talk about multivocality in 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit of academic discussion here.
Because it gives us a little bit of time to talk about some of their songs again. And then I'm learning a little bit about multivocality.
What I'm learning about. You're learning about what I'm studying.
Yeah. So let's look at this. And my brief was to listen to the songs again with that in mind.
Yeah.
That you're talking about. You can listen to
pretty much any of them. Yeah.
Right, but you've chosen a certain song list to include into your essay.
Yeah.
So
because it's only a 3-page paper, I don't have enough space to write about everything I would like to write about.
And you've already been editing out, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And when you asked your prof if you could,
do that,
like,
yeah, sure,
like,
why not? Why not? Yeah.
So anyway, so does it matter what I did the order? Like,
no, the order doesn't really
They
matter.
texted me the order, of songs.
Really.
So the first one is Stressed Out.
Yes, yeah. So the 3 main things that I was kind of focusing on, because like as you probably do know as well, there is a lot of things going on in every 21 Pilots song, vocally and otherwise. And in this sense, so multivocality could mean multiple singers, sure, but in this case it is literally just Tyler Joseph.
Well, occasionally,
and sometimes Josh,
Jocals.
and sometimes other people, features from his family as well, and also audience members. But yeah, I will talk about that. But yeah, so basically, I'm just kind of looking at songs in which he uses, like, he either screams. We have the blurry face voice. We have live performance changes, and those are the 3 big things that I was looking at. So
Stressed Out.
Yeah, so Stressed Out, we've got the deep, that's like one of the most
so that's what I wrote down.
Ones.
So
it was difficult to pick just one, but I figured that one would be a good starting point, because in Stressed Out specifically, the main thing that I was getting at with this part was both, yes, the deep voice that is part of the different multivocality, because, like, Blurryface is always
deep
mocking
voice.
him, always mocking Tyler. He's almost always, entirely always repeating what he says. Normal Tyler. He always repeats what he says, or repeats it slightly differently, like fairly local.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, because so I was looking at that.
Okay,
and it basically so basically it's kind of placing him in dialogue with the thoughts that, like, he already has, because, like, he sings them before or says them before, like, so for example, like, the whole chorus, like, with the, like, wake up, you need to make money, that type of thing. Tyler says that already, but then at the end, it's Blurryface saying that.
But doesn't his family also say that?
Yeah, his family says that too.
So that's another form of...
They don't say... They look like they say that, but they don't actually... I'm just looking specifically at the audio, not the video.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not talking about his family saying that.
Okay.
Even though
I looked at the video, and I'm
I just did audio only, because it's a class about the voice. It's a class about voice. So...
Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's a class
about voice. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that was what I got out of it. So there was the low voice.
Yeah. And my approach with that was that it's putting him in dialogue with someone else or himself, but also another part of himself. And then I moved on to that with dialogue, keeping going with that theme of placing him in dialogue with Tengli himself, but also others. Surroundings, potentially. I moved on.
So that would be his family, and then his,
or
then
just
and
the outside
face.
world in general. Yeah.
Okay, so then you also said center mass.
Center mass. That's definitely dialogue, because, like, in the, like, kind of, I guess, pre-chorus, that whole, he does, like, a whole bit, like, with him singing versus him, like, speaking parentheticals. Parentheticals, like the pre-chorus, yeah. Like, I thought you had to figure it out. I know, or I lied.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That bit. He's both speaking to himself and also the audience, because Center Mass, even though it's definitely not a lore-focused song, it could be interpreted, like, as, like, him explaining to, sure, banditos, sure, like, in the Clancy, or in the Clancy persona, or the audience, like... They're like, hey, like, what's going on?
In your essay, are you also mentioning the lore?
I am not mentioning... I briefly touched on the lore just to introduce the character of Blurryface. But I do not have enough room to...
Yeah, no, in 3 pages. I don't even know how you still can do that.
Unfortunately.
Okay, so those are the main ideas in Center Mass?
Yeah, that was the main idea in
So
Center
let me
Mass,
see if I caught them. So this is the thing, because I am not a music
the main thing,
student.
Dialogue.
Okay, so what did I say? I said...
Multivocality
talking to self. Oh, but then there's the pitch, right?
Yes, the pitch.
The pitch.
down,
So he is really quiet, and he also screams.
Yes.
He does a whisper, and then he screams.
That,
so
you're
that.
talking about, where are you talking about?
Yeah, in center
Oh,
mass.
center mass. Yeah, yeah. So I didn't. I
does it
didn't.
really,
I
really
didn't
quiet.
mention the scream in there because I mentioned scream somewhere else.
But that would also be considered
Yes,
multivocality,
that would be because
right?
especially because he's like juxtaposing the two.
Yeah, because it's literally one after the
yeah,
other.
one
Like
after
he's
the other. Yeah.
very, very quiet.
Yeah.
So I got that, and then I said vocals equals speaking and singing. So he does
Yes,
singing
yep.
and speaking, and pitch by pitch, harmony,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
talking to self
Yeah,
and
so
to
the,
others.
the harmony I didn't focus on quite as much because that is like pretty just common in music in general. With
But that's what he
singing.
does. But so the special things in this song. So the goal here is to see.
And I
if-
also mentioned that like he used like snippets from the audience, so that it's also like leading towards like because like there I said like basically there isn't like a clear this is what he means by this, but it could be interpreted as him speaking to the audience, the people who are listening to his music, because he already in the beginning incorporates sounds from
he
concepts
often
from the
talks to
audience.
the fandom.
Yeah, yeah.
Because apparently.
But I'm setting this
Apparently
up.
we
I'm
get
setting
him.
this up. Yeah.
All right, so that was that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you also said you were looking at Goner.
Yeah, because
Okay,
I need to
and
talk
then-
about the screams. I need to talk about the screams. And that was the strongest one I thought of.
With Goner. Is it
Yeah,
screaming?
because like the huge juxtaposition between like almost whispering and
Well,
slightly
he does that in
speaking
Center
the
Mass
beginning.
as well.
Yeah, he does that in most songs, but Goner especially is very, very, very powerful, especially because and most of the like final tracks on albums, very, very low variation of the lyrics. It's mostly just the same thing, but he says it in such a different way.
Yeah,
throughout
and
the
it's
song.
like, and that's
Yeah.
why it doesn't
Like
get
there's
boring.
there's Goner, there's Truth, there's
he's
Intentions,
very, very
like,
good at doing
all
that.
of them are like that. The
And
Goner,
there's just something about the way he builds it too that I find
that's what I said. Yep.
I don't know how he does that.
Huge thing between the scream, like whispering, like "Don't let me be gone," and like almost in a pleading way, and then screaming that.
Yeah.
It's like whole like emotional rupture, that type of thing.
Emotional
And-
rupture.
Emotional rupture, yes. And
Emotional rupture.
Emotional
okay,
rupture.
that
Rupture,
is
yeah.
there's a phrase for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Okay.
Because it is. It
No,
basically
no,
is.
I get
It's
it.
reached a
I
breaking
get
point,
it. I
and
get
it's
it.
like-
I get what you're saying, but I'm like
and
that.
also
But
because
I like
it
that.
did also tie into like certain course readings that we were doing. So
All right, so now the goal is to see if
Yes.
I picked up on the things that the
Yes.
music student
Oh,
has
did
able to
you?
pick up on. So let me see. What did I write about? Oh, this was the thing when I. Sorry, because I looked at. I wanted to watch the video again.
there's no video for Goner.
No, but there's a one where he does Goner like, and he's playing the accordion out in the snow on the street.
Yeah, that.
I had never seen that
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
I was like, that is so
And,
cool.
and Goner is actually one of their oldest songs. Like it's been kicking
Yeah,
around
that's
for
what
a
I was
while.
just like.
It's been
that-
kicking
what's
around for a
this?
while.
And that's why I wanted to say, like, when I went to, because I wanted to hear the lyrics again, and then that popped up. It's on their site,
It's there.
and I had never seen it before. So to me, this was like great. This
Yeah,
was like
that-
a little discovery
yeah.
there, and I just thought it was just like he's standing out in his neighborhood doing that. I wonder who was filming it. I don't know. Maybe one of his brothers or somebody. I don't.
Who
I don't
knows? But
But very cool. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, you probably have. If you're watching
Yeah.
this, you probably have seen it. But
Go watch
I
it.
didn't see it. I just thought it was great. So then I said, what did I say in terms? Yeah, builds from a whisper to a scream. So
that's
so
pretty much what I wrote.
So that was the main thing. Okay. Okay. So and then the next one,
yeah.
ride.
Yeah, well, so then the next bit was how, even in songs where there isn't like pre-existing or not a huge amount of pre-existing multivocality, variety in the audio itself, in the recorded versions, how how Tyler and Josh but especially Tyler changes music in concerts. So the three examples I used were the line with that
we'll get that.
huge scream, Shy Away, same deal, and also Ride, because there's always the tradition of inviting.
So
a
we're
fan
talking
up.
about all three of those at the same
Yeah,
time.
all three
So
of them
go
at the
ahead,
same time,
and
so
then I'll
just-
say what I got.
Yeah, well, also because I wanted to basically drive home, because the main point of the paper was like, what does multivocality add to a to a vocalist performance, to the music? What does it add?
Yeah.
Why is he doing this? So I couldn't rightly say that like, it adds all this stuff without having examples of where there isn't multivocality, and then he like
adds it in.
we actively change it and consistently actively change it, even to the point where in like say like Shy Away, like the live stream recording, he adds the scream, but it's not in the original recording. So yeah, so basically it's also showing that multivocality is not like, it's both an intentional action to like further the meaning and emotional depth of a song, but also to like it always changes in every live performance as well. Like it's consistently
I thought of something
evolving.
else in Ride that I want to make sure I don't forget.
It's a consistently evolving thing. So basically, so like with the screams, the two screams and the line and Shy Away, is like a huge thing of the spirit of performance. And then the thing is also with Ride, the other voice singing is always a young femme, but it's always a different person every time, so it always changes slightly depending on who's singing it. So it's both Tyler's original, meaning it's because he's singing it live, sure, yeah, but also it's whatever the younger fan brings to it, however they sing it, and it's
when they're not completely freaked out.
Yeah, when they're not completely freaked out.
People.
Of course, yeah.
But with that,
yeah.
With Ride, when you do that, it actually changes the whole tone. Because, I mean, those of you who've been to a 21 Pilots concert know that there's like a different atmosphere when the kid gets up there on the stage and then everybody is supporting that child. Yeah. Right? I mean,
the whole community.
It's just like a weird kind of
it's
different
like,
feeling
it's a practice they actively use to strengthen the community bonds they have.
I guess. Yeah. That's and I
because like
just talking about it
there's
now.
certain things that they do like that I didn't even mention in the paper. Like there's like the chant during trees. There's like anytime they sing heathens, they always
and the thing is also with Ride is then everyone's singing along anyways, but with this then he brings everybody in to support the child singing it. So that is also multivocality, right? Yeah. Because you're bringing in the whole, everybody's doing it, right? So, so that was the thing that I didn't write about. So is there anything else that you want to say there?
No, that was...
Okay, all right. So let me just see if I hit all those points. So when you told me to listen to Ride, you told me to do live performance Ride. Yeah. And I did the one at the Fox Theater. That's one I did for live. I don't know if that's the one that you were referring to or
I'm
in
just
general.
In general.
Okay, so I watched that to see, what I would get out of it. So
since I have experienced this.
So then I said, what changes here? And I wrote down children?
Children.
So
so
that would be the thing. But also in the Fox one, the Fox Theater, I think that for Ride they did Drum Island as well.
I don't know.
There. Someone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think they did the Drum Island in there too. So if they do that, that also adds another dimension to it.
Right? I don't know. Yeah.
In terms of the performance.
Sure.
Because, I mean, just to bring in more of the community aspect that Ride gives to the whole concert, right? Okay. So, and then at piano, what did I want to do? Because he also does a little bit of Ride at the piano in the Fox Theater, but I can't remember what I was getting at there. But that makes it. Oh, that's what it was. It becomes more intimate when he's at the piano.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he expands it out again. So that was sort of what I was getting at. So I was looking at the Ride. And then so you were talking about.
So it's really just the whole juxtaposition between external and internal voice becoming audible.
External.
External and internal. Becoming
I don't
audible.
know what you mean by external. And
so external. So the internal voice, like say for example, like the dialogue that he's having with himself as Blurryface, but also like the internal dialogue that he's having like between two different like aspects of himself, and then also just like the fact that like it's just Tyler singing this stuff, it's just him. But then when he uses all these different forms. It's like
he's bringing everybody into himself, right?
Into it, yeah. So like the deep voice pitch change, that's
but not
externalizing it, yes. But in Ride it goes from just Tyler singing it and not like a huge amount of like even in Ride I don't even think there's any screams. There's no screams in there. But then in live performance, he literally has someone else. It's literally someone else.
So he's using the audience. Yeah. Okay, so then you already mentioned Shy Away. So for me, when I was looking at Shy Away, all I was thinking about was the harmonies that he's playing with himself. I think that's a big thing in that. Yeah. And then the line, oh my God, I love that song. Yeah. But when I was thinking about the line, the difference between the recorded version for Arcane versus the live performance at the Video Game Awards or whatever.
Yeah, and every single time he performs it live.
It's a different, like, it's intimate, but somehow that scream, okay, it shivers just thinking about that scream. I'm just like literally getting shivers down my back. I mean, the video for Arcane is fantastic, and I love the song.
You haven't even seen it. It's even more meaningful if you've actually seen the show.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen the show.
Yeah.
But when he does that scream in the live performance, it completely changes the tone for me. It sounds even more like, on the one side, it sounds a bit like he's being invited into the experience, and then the other one, he's like desperate, like somehow that scream adds like another dimension to it. So to me, that's like a completely, and that's like within the same song, and just again perform. And I wonder if it's easier for him to scream when he's in front of an audience. I'm just wondering.
That makes sense, because he mostly
very often I wonder if that scream was done on, like, he planned that scream, or if it just happened when he did that. I know the dude is really planning.
I think he just went for it.
I think somehow like I feel like that he just just happened. Yeah. But I mean, the dude is very planny. Like I keep thinking about his MTV Live performance, and he comes with like, pages and pages of notes. So I don't feel like there's anything that he does or that they do that's completely accidental, but but part of me thinks that scream was in the live performance was almost spontaneous.
Maybe, who knows?
No one knows, but but it sounded fresh somehow. I don't know, but
people liked it so much that now he's just keeping it.
He just keeps doing it. I don't know how he does it, but so let me just see, did I catch everything that I was going to say? I can't read what I have there. But so anyways, Scream versus in the Game Awards. So that was sort of me. And then thinking about that, we just saw the video for Drag Path. And the funny thing is that when I had one of those, deja vu experiences when I was looking at the video and I saw, which I loved. I mean, I loved it. Yeah. I loved the expansion of art and him bringing in somebody else's art, and then reading afterwards the letter from, I can't remember, Tobias.
Tobias.
Who he said that they knew about, like Tyler has been a fan of that video for quite some time, and again, nothing that they do is not fully thought out and planned. Like it's just so weird. But the reason I was having deja vu is because I remember seeing parts of that film ages ago when it actually came out, and because and the reason and it was weird because like little things that jog my memories, the look of the rabbit.
I didn't recognize it at all.
Well, you were a lot younger. I mean, to you 10 years ago was like a different lifetime. And the way the wolf or dog looked, and because it has such a distinct kind of shape, and I was looking at this going, that looks somehow familiar, like it was weird. And then afterwards, so I must have seen it. Like I can't remember seeing the whole thing. Like I was surprised at the end with what happens at the end. I didn't remember that, but I do remember, and I think something about that magician at the beginning was like, it reminded me of that, and it was just so interesting because that was almost like silent pictures. Really, but multivocality is also used in Drag Path.
Definitely. It's interesting the differences between, because I do have the digital remains version, and
which you've listened to many times, and I can't.
I haven't listened to it as many times. Like I have it like, because I don't have it like linked up to my streaming stuff. But and it's interesting to see what they did differently and what they cut out and what they
had to make it fit the video, right? Because I mean, I didn't make that video for that song.
But I do think like the entire verse that they cut out at the end, it could have worked in there and it would have made sense with the video. I was thinking, I had a feeling they were going to cut that bit, but which kind of almost entirely it kind of changes the meaning of the song in a way.
I don't know.
By removing that last bit, if you have the digital remains you'll know. But
But I mean, the meaning of the song
Yeah.
is different for everyone who listens
Sure.
to it.
Yeah.
So to me, I didn't miss it. I've listened to Digital Remains because you shared that with me,
Yeah.
and I enjoy.
Yeah.
To me, it's all
I
different
think-
art,
yeah.
and I really enjoy
Yeah.
it. And to
Yeah.
me, it's their song, and they do what they do, right? They can do whatever they want with their song, and I'm just here to enjoy what they're doing, and I just love to see, and we've talked about this in this podcast before, with different things, right? In terms of how things are in, to say, a book versus how it is in the movie, or like that kind of thing, and each piece is a different piece of art, so you look at it as a separate piece of art, and that's sort of how I look. That's how I look at Drag Path. It's a separate piece of art.
It is different, yeah. It is different.
And I think that this is and aside from other things, this is a way of bringing Drag Path to everybody, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I
it's
do
got
think
huge on the internet.
I do feel that even though you feel it's a little bit different in terms of meaning, to me the essential ingredient is still there, and I think that is
the chorus.
but that's the important thing of the message he's trying to convey. However you want to interpret that.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm still of the opinion that the Digital Remains version 100% is lore. It's lore.
Well,
it's lore.
You're gonna make people hate you because a lot of people disagree with you. But whatever it is, here, it's like I feel like everything is a different piece of art, and artists put out art, and it's up to you to interpret it how you feel. And I guess one of the weirdest things, and this is going to go back to one of our previous podcasts when we were looking at Star Wars Visions, right, was the very last video.
Yeah, I was falling asleep during that one. But, to be quite honest,
I'm talking about where it was the perspective of the stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't.
I was like, what's going on? And I kind of
again,
out.
But that then shows you that that's a complete. Like, I thought that was super cool.
No, I like to have more of a linear storyline. that was too highbrow art for me.
And that is the thing. Like, different people will interpret it differently. And to me, the essential ingredient of Drag Path is there, whether it's the music video or whether it's Digital Remains. And I think that what Tyler was trying to say is still said. And I just I love it, and I love it.
No,
I
it's
like
great.
the different.
Don't get me wrong, it's great. But,
I love how he brings in more.
And it's
art.
different
right, and it's so nice that he's able to bring back art that has been out for a while and just draw people's attention to it and promote other artists. And I think that's a great
I was impressed that, like, watching the video, I didn't realize that it wasn't made like specifically for the song.
Isn't that
weird? And I was like, it fits very well, but why are there so few references, or why are there, like, I would expect from, like, say, like the claymation Christmas Day of the Year one, I was expecting to be more references, but there was just enough similarity that could be interpreted as.
But that tells you
really kind of
that Tyler and Joss like this movie, this short film, and that shows you that this is like a thing that they feel, right? Like it, so, and that's why, even though it wasn't made for the song, it still fits with the whole. I mean, you could. I see people bringing in like ideas for lore all over the place, and it's just so strange.
Now I think like they're trying.
But that's the thing. So this comes back to 21 Pilots in everyday life in a way, right? So so much of what they produce is able to incorporate into that, and I think aside from just being in conversation and hearing, any word and have that remind me of a song, which is weird. But that happens all the time.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
I just like, oh, that's that song. And it just, even though it has nothing to do with that. And we were, I was driving down the street and I saw a new housing development that just happens to have a very particular name of Paladin.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And then right away I was thinking of
That's
that song.
such a weird name for
and it's like the what is it, the Paladin Park or something like that? I can't remember what it is. It's like, what? Anyways, I can't remember the exact thing, but definitely a Paladin in it, and I was right away thought of Paladin Strait, but yeah.
Well, anyway, moving on.
Okay,
moving on.
So here we go. So then our other things that we wanted to talk about
Movies.
And if you have anything else to add to multivocality, if you are a music student or not, okay, I have to here it is, just so that we remember what we're going to talk about. Project Hail Mary trailer.
Trailers. Yeah.
So we're at the point where we're anticipating. We actually did a book club with a friend of ours, and for Project Hail Mary. Yeah. You had already read it. I listened to it on audio, and then they listened to it when we got together. So we're really anticipating it. And if you have read Project Hail Mary, chapter 24, I think
it's going to be a pretty big movie.
Yeah, honestly. Anyway, but the thing is, knowing that Ryan Gosling was going to do that, I was just like, he's perfect. Oh my god!
That just wasn't how I pictured him.
But yeah, no, like I was just like, this is the whole, and maybe because of the way, because I listened to it on audio, and the person, I can't remember who was reading it, but it was just like had the whole vibe that he has when he talks. Okay. It's just like he's just perfectly cast for that. I think I even read that it was written for him in mind. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. Whatever. But I honestly, I'm really anticipating in chapter 24. I am so worried that they're going to cut chapter 24. So if you've read the book, you know what I mean. And when I was listening to chapter 24, I thought if they pull this off, and it's pulled off the way it's written, in some way, not saying that has to be word for word on the page, that's not at all what I mean, but the vibe that they have in chapter 24, and I don't want to spoil it, because if you've not read it, read it, listen to it, whatever it is. I would think we're looking at Academy Award material for Ryan, and for I can't remember the actress who's playing that. What's her name? Anyways, it's up, popped out of my head. That would be Best Supporting Actress right there.
I'm not good with actors. Honestly.
I don't know why.
I remember the I can tell you the
apologize.
Characters.
It popped out of my head.
I can tell you the characters, but I cannot tell you the actors.
Yeah, I can't.
I wouldn't even remember Ryan Gosling if you hadn't.
Seriously, chapter 24. So I'm so worried that they're going to cut that out. But I have a feeling it's going to be in there based upon the last trailer, because we just saw like the final trailer.
I think there's something in there. I think they're adding a few scenes actually.
What do you mean they're adding a few scenes?
I think I read that they're adding like a karaoke scene.
They're adding that in?
They wanted to have like specific characters like sing.
They would need that because that makes chapter 24 even more shocking.
Because the actors like had good singing voices, I believe.
Yeah. So
I believe,
and then so my biggest thing was, how are they going to do Rocky? Now we know because it's already in the trailer, so that's not going to be a surprise. But the first trailer, they didn't really show Rocky, so it's just like, how are they going to do it?
To be quite honest, I'm a little bit disappointed that they put Rocky in the trailers, because it was such like a huge shock when you like were reading it, because you weren't expecting that at all.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And so I'm a little bit disappointed.
It's in there, factor. And it's fine. And I think they did a good job. I think they did a good job in Rocky. I really do. I was just like, oh yeah, that's what Rocky looks like. So, yeah. So think about it. And
he needs clothes.
He needs clothes. Rocky doesn't have clothes.
Yeah, well, he does a few times, but
actually he does.
Yeah.
He does have clothes in the book.
Yep.
He does have clothes in the book.
So they doesn't have clothes, but.
Whatever. I guess that.
I'm just thinking about it. It's too much for, because it's probably a puppet. It's more than likely Rocky's probably a puppet, so it's probably too.
I think he's animated.
No, I think he's probably a puppet.
I think he's animated. Anyways,
either way, it would be too difficult. It would probably be too difficult to have.
We'll have a look. I think he's animated, but yeah. So I am very. We're very excited about the movie, and I feel like, to me, whether the movie is going to be something I absolutely love versus just think it's cool, is like whether
visually it looks very good.
Yes, visually, but is if they include chapter 24. So
okay,
yeah, I'm all about.
I'm just hoping that they don't change the ending.
Well,
I'm slightly worried.
I'm more worried about them taking out chapter 24 than I am because the ending left me unsatisfied.
No, the ending was very satisfying. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. It'd be more unsatisfying if. Okay, never mind.
Okay, I'm not gonna say anything.
We'll see.
For those of you who haven't want to spoil it, because it's so good.
Okay. Either way, one of us is. I guess we're gonna be disappointed.
So look for a future podcast on Project Hail Mary. We'll probably do that.
In a little while.
So that's coming up sooner than we think, right? Okay. So then the other thing was, what else did we want to talk about? Mando and Grogu. Yes. You know what?
I'm glad they're ending it with a movie.
Oh, they're not going to do any more series?
I don't believe so. I think that's.
I did not know that.
I think this is it.
That's the first time I heard of it.
Yeah, I think
okay.
this is it.
Like,
because I think the viewership started to fall off in season.
Well, that's because they did what they did. But anyhow,
well, they have to finish it. They have to finish it. It's been going for too long.
To me, like, I'm on the fence about the movie. Like, I'm
hyped.
I am all about Pedro Pascal, and I love Grogu.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
it looks really good.
But they could really make it suck.
Look, okay, my opinion.
I'm worried that they're going to make it suck.
I've said this before on the podcast, and I've said this before talking with you. My opinion with almost anything that I'm absolutely obsessed with is, like, even and this may get me, like, completely, like, under fire, but even the sequel trilogy, like, sure, it could have been better, but I'm just grateful we got something at all.
Yeah, no, I get you. I
didn't have to do that.
But, like, I'm just like, okay, no,
yeah.
I get it. I understand. I know what
and,
you're saying.
And honestly, there's good.
I know what you're saying.
Even if it's not, like, objectively, like, even if it's objectively not, like, the best, or if this future movie is not the best.
I'm just
ever.
afraid they're gonna make it too corny. But
yeah, but sometimes you just want, like, a little, like, lighthearted movie, man. Like,
okay,
like, it's
a
little baby.
We'll see it.
It's a baby.
We'll see it.
It's a child.
I love how his ears always go back in the wind.
Exactly, it's a child. Like,
so, like,
yeah.
But, like, so
at its heart, like, there are different tiers of Star Wars for different aimed at different audiences, and I definitely think the Mando and Grogu is. I mean, it's less, like, child oriented. I would say,
you know,
but
the first season had a lot of edge in it. Like, if you've listened to this podcast before, you know I love my edge. And the first season of Mando and Grogu, you know, the Mandalorian, it had
even the second season.
There was there was an edge
there.
I feel even with the little guy there.
They're going in a little bit of a different direction, I think, starting with season 3. So that's why I wouldn't be surprised if the movie, maybe it'll continue that. I'm hoping it'll end up more like along the lines of a cross between like season 1, season 2 energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, but
But who knows?
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Based on the trailer, I do think
it's like, why does everything have to come out in May?
Yeah,
everything comes out in May. So, like, you know, if we do dedicated podcasts, you're not going to hear about some of these things until, like,
a while.
I don't know. But anyways, unless we combine it all together. But everything's coming out in May. You know, and I don't want to talk about Good Omens 3, but that's also coming out in May.
Yes.
And we've done
at the same time. I
Huh?
think it's all. They're all like.
They're all
coming
like, why?
in. They're all coming out within
and
like
by
a week
the way,
or so.
we've got a lot of Good Omens podcasts. So if you like Good Omens,
I don't think we never actually finished doing that.
We never finished. Yeah. But we did all of season 2. We didn't we?
Season 1.
Or season 1. I don't know. Anyways, we did a lot of Good Omens.
I don't know.
And that also comes out at the same time. So it's going to be a busy May. Yeah. Just trying to catch up on all of that. Mm-hmm. And we'll see. I don't really want to talk about Good Omens 3, but I'm on the fence about that one too. So
we already know my opinion. I'm grateful we're getting something.
I'm grateful that we're getting something. We just need some closure.
Yeah.
We'll get closure.
Yes.
Right? Good Omens 3. Closure.
Otherwise, there's gonna be a lot of angry people.
And I did not watch the trailer for Good Omens 3 yet. Apparently,
I actually haven't either.
Apparently, it's just come out. So I didn't watch it yet.
Now we know what we're doing.
So we just like
we know what we're doing after this podcast.
So there's that. And then the last thing we wanted to talk about was the fact that we just saw Zootopia 2.
Yes, a little bit late.
And I keep wanting
quite a bit late.
I keep wanting to call it Foodtopia, and I
don't
know why I do that.
I think it came out in November.
I don't know. It was a few months ago.
It was a few months ago.
The thing is with podcasts on YouTube, it's timeless, right? So you could be listening to this 5 years from us making this, or 2 weeks after we make it. So, we suffice to say that the movie came out quite a few months ago, and it came to theaters, a really close local theater.
It's now the second highest grossing movie of
which I can't wrap my head around that. Yeah. Like we were talking because your dad came, right? We were talking about it in the car. We're like, what? How was that even? Not that it wasn't good. It's just that, you know, how, like, anyways.
Well, I think the reason it was because, like, it was genuinely an enjoyable movie, and I think it was a fine successor to the first one.
Yeah, but that was the thing. Like,
but also because the first one was so hugely successful.
That's probably why the second one, because people like the first one. Same thing with
Inside Out. Hugely successful first movie.
It's weird. Like you think that the first movie would do better than the second one.
No.
But that was why.
But also, it's been so long since the first movie came out.
Yeah, it didn't feel like that long ago.
No, but we were looking. It's been like not 10-ish years or so.
Yeah, I guess
I
that's what
believe.
you were thinking by the
Yeah.
time we did this podcast.
Yeah.
But when I think on when I saw initially that they did a Zootopia 2, I was just like, why?
Yeah,
Why
they
are we
did
doing
conclude
that?
it, sure,
Because
yeah.
it was so good and it didn't need a follow-up.
No.
So this is like a separate story. Like it's not like it's continuing. I mean,
No.
they continued.
They have
They
cameos and stuff, yeah.
continued from, almost like a week later from where the other one ended. But I was of the mind going into this movie, we didn't need a second movie. I still feel like we didn't need a second movie, but the second movie was good.
Yeah, that's fine.
It was a good story, but somehow for me, the magic was the first movie, right? And they continued on brand. It was like that did not disappoint. It was really well done. But for me, the magic in the first movie was the magic of the first movie, right? So they just gave us more of what we liked. But it didn't feel the same way because it wasn't a surprise, right? Like the first movie, it was new and it was just like, oh, that was pretty cool. And your dad enjoyed this. Like your dad did not see the first movie. My husband.
I don't remember.
My husband did not see the first
I don't
movie.
actually remember.
No, he didn't. Okay. So we had seen that together. So he seemed to really enjoy it. He did not fall asleep. It was if you're referring back to we did a review on Frankenstein. We talk about how my husband always falls asleep.
I think he's not fall. He doesn't fall asleep in movies lately. Actually,
well, he enjoyed. Maybe we're just choosing the right movies, but yeah. So he seemed to enjoy it. So that is another dad tested.
Which is the thing, like it's a kids movie, but like
he enjoyed it.
It's fun
because it was fun. So that's what I mean. Like it brought the same magic back, and for dad, it was new. I got exactly what I was not disappointed by that, but somehow, like I said, the first time you experience something like that, it's still, new. Sure. So it was, this is surprising. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I guess that would be my review. It didn't disappoint, right? Yeah, but it doesn't have the magic of the first one for me because the magic is that it was something new, right? But they were completely on brand, and it was good. It was a good story, So yeah. I did not expect.
I appreciate the fact that it expanded some things, like it took some things from the first movie and expanded on them.
And I was genuinely surprised. I did not expect that twist. So if you haven't seen it, I did not expect the twist. I didn't expect that. I didn't. It's like, what? Okay, so
I feel like things are going too well, but
I guess maybe I'm a little naive, but I was just like, what?
And I knew it could not. It could not be specific characters just because of like I just would not fit with the voice actor. But yeah. not saying anything. Not saying anything.
There's that. Okay, but we don't want to spoil it. Most people who are going to see it probably have seen it by now. Probably. So that's not. Yeah. But if you haven't, spoil it. So there was a little twist at the end that it was a big twist, but I didn't see that coming. I don't know why I didn't see that coming, but I didn't see it coming.
I think it wasn't as big as the first.
I was just like, oh, okay.
But, yeah. Anyway.
But they follow the same kind of, I guess, formula as the first movie.
I mean, if it isn't broken, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So how do we bring this right back to 21 Pilots? Well, we did that really well the other day. It was like, art is good,
Yeah. I don't think we can bring it back this time.
Right back.
It's a little bit too different.
Oh my God. But yeah, so, but I can bring it back in a way. And that is that we're looking forward to the next surprises that the boys give us. They don't disappoint. It's just like there's constantly something coming out because we were recording this shortly after Drag Path music video came out, and I knew it before you did. Yay! Anyways, it's just like, but that was a surprise that we were getting a music video to Drag Path. So I wasn't
thinking they were going to do a music, or I wasn't thinking they were
they're constantly giving gifts to us. So for that, I am grateful. And it just makes it fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Many things to look forward to.
Always gives something to look forward to. So who knows? By the next time there may be something else new, and we'll do this again.
Who knows?
So other than that, I think we're done. Everything that we wanted to talk about. Yeah. So if you have been listening to the end, we thank you. And please check us out on our other podcasts. We've got other 21 Pilots. We've got Good Omens. We've got lots of Star Wars.
Got
lots of stuff to listen to. And if you like this kind of format, please, listen to our other podcasts. And
also tell us.
Talk to us. If there's something else that we want to, and if you have something else to add about multivocality,
or suggest
in 21 Pilots
for future podcast episodes
or future essay topics for
yeah
how to write a 21 Pilots themed essay in every year of your college career, please let us know. But other than that, we want to thank you as always for listening and being part of the Birds on Power Lines podcast.